So today we're going to be talking about tools that you can use in your business. First thing that, I tell people when we're talking and they're like, well, what about the onboarding? What about, well, no, before we even go there, tools that we use. Let's look at free tools. Okay, so let's look at some free tools. So social media is absolutely free. Okay, so and you want to use social media. It is to your advantage, especially if you're a millennial. You guys are on social media all the time. I, on the other hand, have to make myself get on and post, and I have to make myself get on and do a story or something like that. So when you guys do not see me posting, it's like, just please charge it to the fact that I am old and I am not a millennial, and I do not like Snapchat every move I make in life. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta show everybody everything every minute, so it's like crazy. It's really, really crazy for me. So free tools. So if you're looking at something like, social media. So, Twitter is lit, Facebook is lit, Instagram is lit. Those are three top, you can also check into Tumblr. It's free. It is absolutely free. So those things are there, and you can have conversations. I have met so many people on social media and connected with them, collaborated with them, because in my book, Small Steps to Big Dreams, it talks about connections and collaborations. And it talks about, you need to start connecting with people. You need to collaborate with people, because that's people always say it's about who you know. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know, right? So when you connect with people and you collaborate with people, it only helps you along the way. So I have used social media to my advantage, and you should too. Connect with people, collaborate with people, because that's the way to do it. That is the absolute way to get in there and do, connect and collaborate, because that's important. That is so, so very important. Another free tool for just getting your plan together and writing it all down and all that good stuff, which is something that you all already know. If you have, of course, Word. Of course, Word is my go-to. You can use Word. That's really easy. Everybody has it. If you don't, I think the computers come with like WordPad or something like that, because you want to do that. But when it comes to free storage, that there's Dropbox and there's Google Docs. So you can use that. These are just free sources that you want to get, you want to get started. You want to make sure you have your thing. Now, when you're talking about building your email list or something like that, now I am going to talk about the one that I use, and it was absolutely free for a while until I grew a little bit more. I use MailChimp, and that's at MailChimp.com. And so I pay now, and you can use it up to, I think it may be 600 people on your list, that it's free, or 12. I think it may be 600. 600, because once I got to a certain point, then I had to actually start paying, because my list got too big. So for the free program, but that is a real good thing. And let me tell you something. If there's a program in your or that I'm speaking about, and you're like, well, I don't really like that, I want to know what there's a comparison to, let me tell you what you do. And this is what I always do. If there is something that's out there, and somebody's talking to me about it, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if there's anything else out there. What I'll do is I'll go to Google. Use your Google, people. Use your Google. Google is amazing at all times, okay? Go to Google and say alternative 2, alternative 4. So I would like an alternative to MailChimp. And it'll give you a free alternative to MailChimp. It'll give you all of that. So just go in there, a free alternative to MailChimp, boom, it's there. And it'll give you a list of things. So that is, my secret for finding things that don't, because some people will tell you about the tools that they use, like I'm telling you about the tools that I use, but it may not be the tools that you want to use. Like you may want to find something else, okay? And that's okay. But if it's free, y'all, when you're starting out, I'm telling you from experience, do not go out there spending all your money on all this stuff just go ahead, and there are some things out there that has all the bells and whistles that will save you an extra 20 minutes a week and all that good stuff. Y'all just put the work in. Just put the work in and do it from the jump by yourself on, you know, and have your stuff on point, free of charge, until you start making some money in whatever it is you're doing, and whatever you're doing to set up your foundation, and however you're setting up your business. Before you start going to spend big money on big things, you need to have your big stuff popping. Okay, and that's why I wrote the book, Small Steps to Big Dreams. Now for my onboarding, so when you make an appointment with me, and we go through and we do like a well, I call it a discovery, this paid discovery call. You can, after we have that call and I tell you what I can do for you, how I can help you, then we go to my onboarding process. I haven't linked the two because I'm using two different programs right now, so I'm going to streamline, because I actually went to a paid program, because I have the clientele to say I can pay for this, you know, this programming. So I use Honeybook. There are friends that use Dubsado, and you can also go to your Google and say, what can I use for onboarding? Because there may be other programs out there. I just fell in love with Honeybook. Honeybook is my absolute fave. Honeybook is my favorite, right? For posting. So I used to use, so I'm in between right now, because I used to use Planoly, because I did a lot of posting on Instagram, in which it then, you know, posted over to my Facebook. But you actually have to stop, and whatever you're doing, it does not post instantly for you. You can set up things to post for you on like Facebook, but for Instagram it would not. Now you can through Later. So now we're going to switch over to Later. But I have used Planoly forever, and let me tell you why. Because when you set your Planoly up, and it's Planoly, when you set your Planoly up, Planoly will actually show you the setup. It'll actually show you your feed, which is really cool. I have not looked into Later yet. My assistant messaged me and said, hey, Later will post. So I have not had a chance to look at it. I'm going to look over that over the Christmas break when I'm done and not doing absolutely anything but just hanging out. Excuse me, guys. So I'm going to look at it then and see the differences. So I really cannot speak on Later a lot. I just know that we are, you know, checking out my listening to my assistant. She said, and shout out to her, she said that I would probably like Later better because it posts on its own. So sorry guys, I had to get me a cough drop. If you know me, you know I'm addicted to mentholatum. Don't judge me. Do not judge me. I love menthol. I don't know why. I do not want to smoke a cigarette though. No, but I do love my menthol cough drops. And they help keep all this clear. But anyway, so you got your MailChimp, which is your mail, and then you have your Honeybook, which is your onboarding, and which is you know, really cool, and then you have your scheduler. You have your scheduler, which I use, like I said, I use Planoly, and I'm writing this down so I can make sure that I went over what I needed to go over with you guys. So Planoly, but I'm changing over to Later. And so, excuse me, excuse me, guys. So, you know, and one of the things about posting and making sure you're getting out there and posting and all that good stuff, because especially with Hey Kim, especially when you're doing your posting and all that good stuff, you want to just make sure that you're getting out there and you're putting out what you need to put out, and you want to make sure that you're putting out information that people can use. Like it makes absolutely no sense for me to post up about business and get on here and talk about cooking. It doesn't. Now, I can bring in the fact that, oh, I cooked the cake. Let me show y'all. Let me share the recipe, because that's a little bit of my personal life. But it has nothing to do with the fact that I need to, you know, share with you some business tips and all that good stuff. So, you know, because we're talking about small steps to big dreams, then I definitely want you to listen to some of the things that I actually have put into the book, Small Steps to Big Dreams, because it starts with like building that foundation and moving from building the foundation to creating social media and creating websites and creating, you know, and stuff like that. And speaking of creating websites and moving forward, let's look at creating websites. So everybody is like, oh, you need to spend $2,500 for a website. Says who? No. You need to spend $1,000 on a website. I don't know why. Guys, Squarespace is, no, is it Square? No. What is that? Is it Squarespace? It is Squarespace. It is, let me look. I found that like really, really easy. It is Squarespace. I found that really easy to utilize. When I worked with it, I've worked with it before. I did not build my own websites. They were built for me, but that was because there were people that were actually working for me and they were able to build those websites for me. So there's going to be some tweaking going on because I'm combining some of the programs that I use so that you can just go right into my onboarding system in Honeybook. So I haven't connected those. So we'll be doing those over the break so that in 2020 we'll have that foundation hit. So which is a good thing. You just have to, you know, connect what you can and you know, and do it when you do it. So and I tell everybody all the time, just get out there and do it anyway. Everything is not going to be perfect all the time. So just get out there and do it. And you know, what messes up. Pivot and move on. Pivot and move on. You know what I mean? You got to find another player to get it to the basket. Do what you got to do. So speaking of websites, Squarespace is good. Wix is good. You know what? I teach swimming. I teach swimming in the summer. And I used Wix, free website, to create my website. And I did it myself. I did the website myself and everything because it's my swimming, and I just needed something to register people so that they can get back to me and I can see the emails coming through and they can connect and pay and all that good stuff. That's all I wanted to do. You know what I mean? That's all I wanted to set up. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, it was easy for me to maneuver, it was easy for me to create and everything. So it's easy. You don't have to worry about, you know, oh my gosh, but they got this doing this. And listen, small steps to big dreams. These people who have been out here that have these amazing websites that have done all this stuff, that have done, I mean, all these things, listen, they have done it before. They have worked, look, they have been doing it. When you saw them on the scene, when they popped on your scene, when they popped on your radar, it was because you just saw them, but they have been working and doing things for a very long time. So don't worry about that. You just get in there and do your thing. Do whatever it is you do so that you can make your coins, because that's what counts, is your coins. And I promise you, all this cosmetic stuff that y'all think counts and works and all this stuff, it doesn't. You know what? You know what works? The meat and potatoes, the meat between the bread. Because the bread is fluff, but nobody wants anything but the good old meat, right? So you want to just make sure that you are giving some good information. So that's so Wix, Squarespace. Squarespace is like $14.99. It is not free. It is $14.99. But I recommend for free, the free 99, I do recommend Wix. I absolutely recommend Wix because it's free and it's easy. And you don't need all the bells and whistles. All you need is for someone to be able to contact you. You need to be able to tell somebody who you are on your website, how they can contact you, and what you can do for them. That's it. That's all the extra bells and whistles and connecting this and do this and you don't have to do that. Small steps. Small steps. Start small. Start small. Start small. You are not going to get on everybody's radar, and you don't need to be on everybody's radar. You need to be working you need to be working what you do in a small area. You need to be plugging into a group of people, not the masses. You need to be plugging into a group of people, not everybody. You cannot help everybody. You're not going to be able to help everybody. You're not going to be able to do everything for everybody. You're not. If your specialty is making German chocolate cakes, there are people out here that hate coconut. My husband is one. He will not eat a German chocolate cake. So the baker that's making the German chocolate cake, and that's her specialty, my husband is not going to buy one, but guess who is? I am. I'm going to buy one. So you may not bake all cakes. Your specialty may just be German chocolate. I promise you, there are 1,000,002 German chocolate cake lovers in this world. There are. Get your niche and stick with it. You cannot service everybody. So stop trying to service everybody with what you do. Stop. You can only help who you can help. A small group of people. Focus on the little people. The little group of people to help you grow big. Okay, small steps, small steps, small steps. Okay, so we got it was something I wanted to tell you guys. It was another it was one more thing I wanted to tell you guys before I got off. Oh geez. Oh, well, definitely make sure that you have your money set up, because you can do online merchants, which are easy. So you have your Square, your PayPal, Stripe. Stripe, I use Stripe. I like Stripe. They are used to big amounts, which is good. When I first started getting large clients, they would hold my money because they wanted to make sure my clients were real and that my clients were I guess that they were actually paying for my service. But now that I get larger clients and they come in with that's just what I accept. So now, it's all good. So yeah. So now I don't have any problems with that. So Stripe is good. Square is good. Cash App is good. And when you do these things, when you do this is one thing pet peeve. You have a bakery by day and you are a dog walker by night or by evening, afternoon. Be mindful of your Cash App name or your name that you use or your business email address that you use to connect with your business, because you can have all these things under one umbrella, which I have my LLC. My LLC is Hot Glam. Under that is everything that Tara L. Paige does. So all of my books, my speaking, every business under TLP, under the TLP umbrella goes under Hot Glam. Okay, so it is, that's everything that's there. So make sure you are, that it's a business name, that it, because it's Hot Glam LLC. So whenever you, get a receipt from me or you purchase something, it'll automatically go to Hot Glam. That's my business name. That's my business name. Hey, Lily. So good to hear from you. See your name, girl. What's been going on? You have to message me. Hey, thanks so much for joining. So you definitely want to make sure that makes sense when you're, asking people to pay for your service or pay for whatever it is you want to make sure that, it makes sense. You don't want to be, the dog walker, but then someone's, sending you money about your cakes. So just go ahead and have your one name that encompasses all of your businesses and keep it moving. and keep it. And it's okay to have different business. It's okay to have business ADHD. That is my own term. It is called business ADHD. That's when you just kind of like doing all kind of stuff, because I do all kind of stuff. I do all kind of stuff. We'll talk about that on a whole nother live, because honey, I do all kind of stuff, and have done a whole lot of stuff. So let's not even talk about that. So anyway, we talked about the merchants. We talked about websites. We talked about setting up your social media. We talked about onboarding. We talked about email lists. And I think I'm going to leave it at that as far as like tools that you can use. And if you take a look at my stories on Instagram, then you'll and Facebook. If you take a look at my stories, you'll also see some things running through there for some free stuff, just reminders to tell you what type of tools are out there that you can use. So I am going to end it here.